and then pal, you're going to the penalty box for that.
You recognize him, but you never see enough of him. So I thought, let's explore like who exactly Casey Jones is.
There's crazy and fun and more soft and hardened, and we were able to put this together and try to make something that is from our childhood and put it on the screen.
Everyone wanted to make it their own, but also honor what has already been.
There's a way to do the Turtles universe that's both, you know, adult and contemporary, but so much fun.
Chaz called me up one day, and we had been making films for years, just as nerds. And he's like, "Hey, you want to make a Casey Jones film?" And I was like, yeah. He's like, "You want to play Casey Jones?" And I was like, "You know I want to play Casey Jones."
I think Adam just has like an inherently 1980s, 1990s comic book character look to him with long hair. So any opportunity we can have a little fun with, I'm always looking for that.
We just happen to have the right chemistry between the three of us and the right like mentality of like, we can make this happen.
Really quickly went from being this, "Hey, why don't you fly in for a couple days, we'll film something and you'll leave," and it started getting crazy legs. And then we're talking about making an original Casey Jones mask, and now we're designing it. And it just blossomed into this massive universe.
It's mind-blowing. It's so cool that what a team that really wants to work together can do.
Chromatic Phantom is myself, Chaz Dray, and Steve Chesworth. And I live in Chicago, they live in Las Vegas. And the three of us put our magical nerd rings together, and a beam of light strikes the sky, and down rains amazing little nerdy ideas.
Chromatic Phantom kind of was birthed from Casey Jones, but also from our music project. So it felt like a perfect opportunity to have an umbrella for all of our nerdy ideas to fall under.
We knew we didn't want to use the NECA release mask, the one from the 1990s film. We wanted there to be something brand new. So we went back and forth and just the smallest little tweaks, and we finally found a perfect combination of, I think, all these Caseys that we have come to know and love.
For Casey, what was fun is that we got to have a couple different scene outfit changes. So we kind of did an 80s cartoon throwback, and then we did the comic book throwback. So getting to tap into a couple of those looks was a lot of fun. And then for the rest of the characters, making it feel like a fun action piece, something that you're seeing on screen, and if it were a video game, you'd want like the controller for it.
Yeah, April's look was, I think Chaz had that look in his head from the time that he started the script.
April was really based on not only April from Ninja Turtles, but Streets of Rage, which is something that we share a love of, which is a Sega game, and there's a character in there named Blaze. So if you watch and you're like, this April's got some Blaze vibes, you're not wrong.
Really, like the biggest design challenge, I think, was Metalhead. Because we really wanted to have, a turtle-based character in there, and knowing that we're all such fans of the 1990 movie, and if we did Turtles, we'd want them to look like that. And we knew we couldn't do that on the budget that we had, but we could definitely do a Metalhead suit.
And then the foot soldiers, that was a combination of the color palette of like the cartoon, but we knew we didn't want to go full, goofballness and make it too, slunchy. And so again, just taking parts of things that we loved with color and design, and then modernizing it a little bit and making it feel like it could be in a real world.
I think what makes this Casey special is it's something that was able to be created after we grew up with the original Ninja Turtles movie. And Cotia is like, that Casey Jones is my Casey Jones. And I think that's how he is to most people. And then I love the cartoon. We had the action figure. So we grew up with this combination of different Caseys.
You know, he shows up as this side character in comics and TV and the movie, and you know so little about him and about his personal life and about his inner life. Like, you don't really get to see what does he think about, what are his dreams, what kind of mentality does this guy have that's not outwardly shown.
A lot of times he's always with the turtles or, always with April. And you see a little bit of that in this, but you also see how Casey is just functioning rogue.
Casey himself is really flamboyant and out there and so fun and free. And then April in this particular storyline needed to be kind of the, all right, what's the reality? This is really happening. But at the same time, I think Casey allows her to kind of step out of the reality and step into this very fantastical universe that he lives in. So they balance each other out really, really nicely. I think they're just a couple kids figuring it out.
How would Casey fight? So there's martial arts to an extent, but we assume like, well, this guy's not like trained. He's going to utilize whatever he's able to absorb and soak up and put forth in any fight. So this thing is all from like melee combat to a little bit of boxing, a little bit of martial arts, all the way to Casey, probably WrestleMania fan. That was one thing we knew was a thing. So we had to involve some of that as well. And what would that be like if Casey's like, he sees it on the mat and he's like, yeah, that looks devastating. I'll do that one day.
It took a lot of practice in doing things that I had never done before, like stage combat, martial arts, working with another person to be safe but also look authentic. That was something that I found really fun but also really challenging.
I'm really impressed with Adam and how he was able to get in shape for Casey Jones, and he was a lot of encouragement for myself. And together, I think we just lifted each other up and we're like, let's do this. Let's look like some action figures.
And our stunt coordinator Kai is like legendary. Like, the dude put together these fights, these long, emotional fights. It really shows in the final product how much work everybody put into the action. It was
so painfully cold sometimes, overcoming that and trying to, right before action, like calm yourself so that you weren't just shivering.
You're just trying to encourage and let people know that like, hey, we're doing this, and we all believe in each other. And even though we're a small crew, we're mighty. It's gonna be worth it in the end.
Music is so important with this film, and that's something that meant a lot to us to have be a character in and of itself, because it was going to drive these scenes.
I don't think when we set out to make the soundtrack, we knew just how genre spanning we were going to go.
It felt natural that it would have this, like 80s hair metal rock energy to it.
Taking a lot from like Def Leppard and Kiss and Twisted Sister, Top Gun, trying to put those emotions in the music, depending on the scene.
We needed to put our heart and soul into this film. When it came to the soundtrack, I had so much fun working on, and I hope everyone has a lot of fun listening to it and rocking out.
It's very much an amalgamation of the things that we loved about the 1990 movie, the 2003 cartoon series, and the 2012 cartoon series, and the comics.
It was really fun being able to try to be an imposing vigilante, but also keep him fun and light and 90s puns for days.
It's gonna tie them into some nostalgia, and it's gonna bring them back to their childhood.
It's an experience. You want to watch the show. You want to, have the action figures and wear the t-shirts and eat the cereal. To me, that's why I think Ninja Turtles will always be timeless.
Casey Jones, I got a story.
Live wire. They call me Casey Jones.